All of us look forward to retirement when we can slow down a bit, enjoy our hobbies, not have to clock in every day at 8 a.m. Retirement can bring some anxiety, especially concerning money issues. Despite your retirement account, your 401k, you wonder if you've saved enough and that money's going to last as long as you need it. Joining me with answers to some of these tough questions is Don Ross with Ross Wealth Advisors. Don, nice to have you here.
Great to be here.
And people just aren't really sure what to do anymore. And they look at the stock market and it goes crazy. When you meet with folks, where do you start with that?
Well, let me say the first thing that's very, very important is trust. You've got to find someone you trust that has the same philosophy as you, understands your goals and what you're trying to accomplish in retirement.
When you meet with folks, what's the best age to start some of this planning?
Well, retirement planning can start at 21 years old.
At least the savings should.
Yeah. Our clients are predominantly 55 and older. They're approaching retirement or they're in retirement, which is a philosophical change in how you should be investing and doing your tax planning and all of that.
So what is the biggest concern for retirees or about to be a retiree?
The biggest thing we hear is, hey, do I have enough to live on for the rest of my retirement? Because the good news is we're living longer. The bad news is we're living longer. So we got to plan accordingly.
So what are some steps that folks can take in order to make sure that they do have enough to last?
When we sit down with people, we like to take them through a 4-step process. One is looking at their taxes. Are they taking advantage of everything they can? 2, we're looking at their income planning. Okay, how are we going to live off our assets? 3rd is are they taking the risks they should be taking? Many people in retirement are taking way too much risk and they're investing inappropriately.
Okay.
And then last, 4th is hey, how do we protect our assets from some of the unforeseen things that happen to our money?
What is the most important of the 4? I realize they're all important, but, if you really had to say to folks, this is really what you should be doing right now.
Well, we can ask that, but mostly we're finding out what concerns you, and it is income planning. Mm-hmm. How do I take this bucket of money I have and make sure it lasts me the rest of my life?
And is it hard to do? Can people live off interest only? Is that the goal?
Well, you can, but there's other strategies, and it's obviously too complex to get into in the show. So we take people through a very detailed process. We look at, hey, do you want to live off your interest only? Can you afford to do that? Or secondly, what is mandatory that you have to take out? As in retirement accounts, at 70, you have to take out mandatory withdrawals, or what's discretionary. 3rd is there's this 4% rule people used to talk about. That doesn't necessarily work. And again, that's another long conversation. And then lastly, we develop kind of a bucketing strategy. And I draw a lot of pictures with clients to understand, okay, what do you need today? What do you need tomorrow? And what do you need maybe never? And so we plan accordingly on how those assets can be structured that way.
When you talk about asset protection, I'm not even quite sure what that means. I should know. I'm getting up to that retirement age.
Well, I look at it this way. That's very true. There's a lot of things out there, this might sound bizarre, that want to get at our money. Lawsuits, inflation, tax increases, and the biggest thing is for people 65 and over, the statistics are 70% chance a couple at 65 years old or someone's going to have a long-term care stay, and we all know the expense of that.
And that brings up a whole other thing that I'm sure you discuss with your clients, that long-term care insurance, and how much do you have? Do you have enough for that? Do you need that?
And a lot of people, the biggest response we hear is it's too expensive. So we have to look at, can you self-insure, which means I've got enough money, or B, do I even qualify? There's a lot of health questions, and a lot of people may not qualify. So now we go to square one again.
That's a good point, because some of this insurance you're not going to be able to get if you've got a chronic illness.
That's true. Yeah, pre-existing conditions can be a big problem for someone that really wants to have that protection.
I see a lot of people, my parents especially, they look at the stock market, then they stop looking at the stock market because they know it doesn't help to look at it. They're so afraid.
And a lot of people tell me when they come in for a first visit, whether they come to one of our seminars or they come in as a referral, they say, well, I stopped opening my statements from my financial advisor. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's a plan, that's an option, but it's not a good one.
If you're burying your head in the sand, it's not a good option.
Not at all. No, we have lots of contact with our clients. They know everything that's going on in the process because, they are retired and they're busier than ever. And so we make sure we see them no less than twice a year to just say, hey, are we on track? Because things do change.
Well, Don, it's nice to have you here. Good advice. I know our folks might want to reach out to you. There's your information if they do. And as you said, it is never too late to start saving and to start talking about these issues. Thank you. Nice to have you.
Thank you.